Welcome to another episode of Broncos HQ. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, next to the Hall of Famer, Steve Atwater. The Broncos are 6-2 atop the AFC West and on a 5-game winning streak after knocking off the Dallas Cowboys. They now head on the road to face the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium. Denver having won 6 of the last 10 matchups versus Houston. Before their bye week, the Broncos will have this quick road trip before returning home for 2 games. How big of a test is this for the Broncos as they prepare to face the Texans?
Well, I think it's going to be a big test and arguably the most significant one that we've had thus far. Last week we played against the Cowboys. Obviously, the offense had a great game. Defense had a great game. But I don't think we've played a defense that is as good as this defense that we've played. But it's going to be a great test for us, and I think the guys are ready for it.
Yeah, Bo Nix has been pretty impressive over the last few weeks. And you're right, this is a very tough defense. But Bo Nix has been on his game. He has 13 total touchdowns and only 2 giveaways during this 5-game winning streak. He's only been sacked 8 times, which shows a lot of protection from his offensive line. And he's top 10 in passing yards. How do you see him playing against this defense?
Well, I think he's going to come out and play well. Like you said, only 8 sacks. That offensive line has been doing a wonderful job, too, of protecting him. He's been doing a great job of scrambling around in the pocket. Also, he had a career high, the second time he's done this, 4 touchdown passes against the Cowboys. But we weren't going up against Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter and that defense, that secondary, who they're tied for 4th in the NFL with 8 interceptions. So you're going to have his work cut out for him, but I think he's up for the task.
When you look at the depth of this team, they really have a next man up type of mentality. How impressed have you been with the depth at different positions?
Oh, I've been super impressed. Look at the secondary. Chris Abrams-Drain has been able to step up and play well. Also, Jahdae Barron, who, shout out to him, got his first interception as an NFL player last week against the Cowboys. Great job with that. The running back position, J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Tyler Badee, each playing vital roles. And you see the offensive line had a couple of injuries. You got to shift guys in and out. They've been doing a great job, so the depth is great there. And then that offensive line, Troy Franklin playing well, Pat Bryant, of course, Cord is. But it's nice to see so many people have success in this offense.
Well, the contributions of the new additions to this team have been on display the last few games. And after practice, I caught up with safety Talanoa Hufanga to talk about his role on defense, how the team is preparing for the Texans, and more. This team stands at 6-2 and now heads on the road to face the Houston Texans. Having played under DeMeco Ryans, what sort of challenges do you expect this weekend?
Oh, it's just going to be a physical game. That's the name of the game for him. That's the name of the game for us as well. So just a high-intensity battle against 2 good teams that are just looking to compete at the highest level.
This team has a next man up mentality. What do you think of the depth of this team and how the rookies have been stepping up and making plays?
Oh, it's been amazing watching offensively and defensively. I think it goes both ways. Guys that are just younger, coming into their prime, that are just excited to just get these opportunities and making the most of it. I think that's cool, especially with RJ offensively and seeing how we're getting involved with our young corner and Jahdae and seeing how he's going to be able to play with Pat going down.
You play with such high intensity. How have you seen yourself fit into this defense?
It's either that or you don't fit into the defense. And I think that's the really cool part about everybody on this defense is you want to fit in. And what does that look like? It means you got to run to the ball, the effort, the tenaciousness to be able to finish on the ball, finish the plays that are made. And so all you can do is just do your job, and at the end of the day, it works out.
Well, we look forward to Sunday. We appreciate you stopping by.
Of course. Thank you.
The Broncos are looking to extend their winning streak to 6 games. What are your keys to the game to ensure that happens?
Well, first off, I would say the defense has to get pressure on C.J. Stroud. If he's allowed to just remain in the pocket with no pressure, he can carve a defense alive. Also, the run game has to be effective. We started that against the Cowboys, 100-yard rusher with J.K. Dobbins. R.J. Harvey also had a nice game. We got to continue running the ball and also got to limit the big plays in the secondary.
I think that's one of the things that everyone's going to be looking at, how the secondary is going to play in Week 9. And the Broncos defense, they're still first in sacks. They're still first in QB pressures. So that's one thing that you're definitely going to see as they go after C.J. Stroud. You talked about the Texans defense a little earlier. They're first in points per game allowed, first in total yards per game allowed, and tied for 3rd in takeaways. How do you see the team overall being ready to prepare to face that?
Well, I think that it's a mindset. You know that as an offense, you've had a great game. Now, the defense wasn't nearly as good, I think, as Houston's defense, but you know that if you put it all together, you can run the ball, you can pass the ball, you can not make the mental errors, the offsides and all that, and you can be successful. So I think they have confidence, and they'll go out there and they're going to play well.
That's what we hope for. Well, before we get out of here, it's time for our Hall of Famer to pick the dark horse of the game. Last week, you went with J.K. Dobbins, saying he would have his second 100-yard game. He finished with 111 rush yards versus Dallas. So, Steve, who is the player you feel will have an impact in Week 9?
Well, when you have younger players playing in the secondary, the best thing you can do is put pressure on the quarterback. And I think that my man Jonathan Cooper, is going to have an amazing game. He's been disciplined. He's had a great season thus far. So far, he has 6 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and also that defense leads the league with 36 sacks. So they're going to continue to do their thing. Jay Coop, dark horse player.
Well, we look forward to seeing that play out in Week 9. Well, that will do it for Broncos HQ. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, next to the Hall of Famer, Steve Atwater. A reminder, it's wheels up to Houston. Kickoff on Sunday versus the Texans is at 11 a.m. Mountain Time at NRG Stadium. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next week.